Is artificial intelligence actually safe to use? That's the question millions of people are quietly asking themselves. We use AI to write emails, to generate images, to solve homework, to draft contracts, to ask personal questions we wouldn't ask anyone else. It feels private. It feels direct, almost like talking to something that exists just for you. But here's the part nobody really thinks about. Every time you type something into an AI system, you are not just asking a question. You are sending data, and sometimes a lot more than you realize. Think about the last few prompts you've written. Maybe you said, "I'm starting a small online business and my expected revenue is around $50,000. Or, "I've been feeling anxious lately. What should I do?" Or, "Here is my resume. Can you improve it?" In those moments, you are not just sending text. You are sending context, personal details, financial information, emotional state, career history, writing patterns, even your decision-making style. And patterns are powerful. AI systems do not operate like notebooks. They operate like services, cloud-based services. When you type something, your input leaves your device. It is transmitted to remote servers, processed there, and then a response is generated and sent back to you. That means your data is not staying inside your laptop. It is being handled somewhere else. Now, that doesn't automatically make it unsafe, but it does mean one thing very clearly. It is not local. And when data is not local, it becomes part of a larger infrastructure. Data centers, servers, processing pipelines, automated systems, large-scale storage environments. Most major AI companies publish privacy policies explaining how this works. Some store conversations temporarily. Some use anonymized interactions to improve their systems. Some allow users to opt out of training data usage. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Almost nobody reads those policies. We scroll, we click accept, and we move on, because convenience always wins. And convenience is the entire reason AI became so popular so quickly. It's fast, it's helpful, it feels intelligent. But intelligence at scale requires data, and improvement requires input. AI models do not magically evolve. They improve by analyzing patterns across millions of interactions, prompts, corrections, feedback, usage behavior. That improvement depends on real conversations, sometimes aggregated, sometimes anonymized, but still derived from real people, people like you. Now, this doesn't mean someone is personally reading your chats for entertainment. That's not how scale works. Everything is automated, filtered, processed by algorithms. But automation does not mean zero risk, and scale does not mean zero exposure. The more centralized the system, the more attractive it becomes. Because data is valuable, not always for malicious reasons, often for optimization, for analytics, for performance improvements, but valuable nonetheless. And here's where things become subtle. Even if identifying details are removed, even if names are stripped out, the structure of your question still reveals something. How you think, what you worry about, how you phrase problems, your tone, your priorities. Individually, that information seems harmless. Collectively, it forms a behavioral pattern. And in the digital world, behavioral patterns are powerful. Let's go one layer deeper, because the real question isn't just, is my data stored? The real question is, how could it be used? Most large AI providers operate under strict security standards, encrypted connections, access controls, internal monitoring systems. But technology is complex, and complexity always introduces risk. Throughout the tech industry, there have been moments where cloud systems exposed information unintentionally, not because of evil intent, but because of configuration mistakes, software bugs, human oversight, or integration errors between systems. No infrastructure is perfect, and AI infrastructure is massive. When millions of users interact with a system every hour, the surface area grows. More input, more storage, more processing, more dependencies. The larger the system, the more carefully it must be managed. And while major companies invest heavily in security, risk is never zero. Now, here's something that makes this conversation more personal. AI tools feel conversational. They feel like messaging apps, and messaging apps feel private. But there's an important difference. When you send a message to a friend in an encrypted app, it's end-to-end encrypted. With AI systems, your message is processed by the provider's infrastructure to generate a response. That means it must be readable by the system. It cannot stay encrypted the entire time. It has to be interpreted, analyzed, processed. That's how it works. And again, this doesn't mean it's unsafe, but it means it's different from a private diary. Another factor people ignore is retention. How long is your conversation stored? stored? Is it deleted automatically? Is it linked to your account? Can you remove it manually? Many platforms provide answers to these questions, but they are buried in settings menus or inside privacy documentation most users never open. And here's something even more important. Even if your conversation is anonymized, even if your name is removed, the content may still contribute to improving the system. That improvement might be beneficial, better answers, safer responses, more accurate outputs, but it is still derived from user interaction, and that means user interaction has value. Now let's shift perspective for a moment. The biggest risk with AI is not necessarily corporate misuse, it's user oversharing, because AI feels intelligent, it feels helpful, it feels neutral. People lower their guard, they paste entire business proposals, they upload confidential drafts, they share internal strategy documents, they ask legal questions with real case details, they describe medical conditions with identifying information, and they do it casually because it feels like just software. But it's not just software. It's a service connected to infrastructure, and infrastructure is designed to process data at scale. So here's a simple rule. If you wouldn't post it publicly, if you wouldn't email it unencrypted, if you wouldn't upload it to a shared cloud folder without protection, don't paste it into an AI system. Not because it's malicious, but because it's not meant to be your secure vault. AI is powerful, but it's not your private safe. It's a processing engine, and engines run on input. So let's make this simple. What should you never share with an AI system? Passwords, private encryption keys, recovery phrases for crypto wallets, full credit card numbers, bank account credentials, confidential business contracts that haven't been signed yet, client databases, employee salary spreadsheets, medical documents that include full identification, personal ID numbers. It sounds obvious, but the reason it needs to be said is because people do it. Not maliciously, not recklessly, but casually. Because AI feels conversational, and conversations feel safe. But AI tools are not encrypted vaults. They are not legal advisors bound by confidentiality agreements. They are not secure document storage systems. They are processing engines connected to cloud infrastructure. That distinction matters. Now let's talk about control, because this is not about fear, it's about awareness. Most major AI platforms provide options to manage your data. For example, you can often turn off chat history being used to improve models, delete past conversations, review stored activity, control personalization settings. These features are usually found in account settings under privacy or data controls. They are not hidden, but they are rarely explored. Most users never open the settings menu. They just type and move on. Taking 2 minutes to review those settings dramatically changes your exposure. Disabling training usage if you prefer more privacy. Regularly deleting old conversations. Avoiding uploading sensitive files. Using AI tools in a separate browser profile for work versus personal use. These are small habits, but small habits create boundaries, and boundaries create security. Here's the balanced reality. AI is not secretly spying on you. It is not waiting to steal your identity, but it is a system that depends on data, and whenever data moves through systems, there is always some level of risk. The goal is not to avoid AI. The goal is to use it intelligently. Just like you lock your front door, just like you use two-factor authentication, just like you update your phone. Security is not about paranoia. It's about proportion. So is AI safe? Yes, if you treat it like a tool. Number, if you treat it like a private diary. The real vulnerability is not artificial intelligence. It's blind trust. Understand what you're sharing. Avoid sensitive details. Review your privacy controls. And remember this, convenience always comes with trade-offs. The more powerful the tool, the more awareness it requires. Because in a world increasingly powered by AI, your data is still yours, but only if you decide what to give away. And that decision is entirely in your hands.